Hello friends, I hope you are all doing great. Welcome back to our LVGL series on the ESP32. In today's video, we are going to create an interactive button with a live counter using LVGL. So let us get started step by step. Now let us take a look at the schematic diagram. Follow these connections carefully to set up your ESP32 with ILI9341 display and LVGL. Once everything is connected, double check your wiring to avoid any damage before powering up the board. Now let us start understanding the code step by step. First, we include the required libraries. LVGL.h is the main graphics library used to create UI. TFT_ESP32 is used to control the TFT display. XVT2046_touchscreen.h is used to read the touch input. Okay. Next, we define the hardware connection. Here we specify the pins used for touch controller. IRQ is the interrupt pin. MOSI, MISO and CLK are SPI communication pins. CS is the chip select pin. These pins connect the ESP32 to the touch controller. Now we define the screen rotation. Rotation can be 0, 1, 2 or 3 depending on how your display is mounted. Based on the rotation, we also define the screen width and height. For example, in vertical mode 240 by 320. In case of horizontal mode, it will be 320 by 240. These ensure proper display alignment. Okay. Next, we create the display object. This line initializes the TFT display using TFT_ESPI library. This object will be used later to send the data to the screen. Now we create a separate SPI object for the touch screen. Even though SPI is already used for display, we create a dedicated SPI bus for better control. Then we initialize the touch screen using chip select and interrupt pins. This is very important concept. LVGL does not draw directly on the screen. Instead, it first draw everything in a memory buffer. We define the buffer size as 1/10 of the screen. This helps save RAM on the ESP32. Then we create an array to store pixel data. This buffer is later sent to the display using the flush function. Finally, we declare a global pointer for the counter level. Why global? Because we need to update this level from another function. First, let us look at the display function. Now let us create the user interface. In this function, we create a button on the screen. First, we create the button object, set its size and place it at the center. Then we add an event callback to handle click. Next, we create a label inside the button. This is just the text button. After that, we create another label outside the button. This will show the counter value. Finally, we position this label just above the button. So visually we have button and counter display. Okay. Now comes the most important part, event handling. This function runs whenever an event happens on the button. We check if the event is a click. If yes, we increase the counter. Then update the label text using that counter. So every time you tap the button, the number increases and it updates on the screen instantly. We also print the count on the serial monitor for debugging. Now we will see the touch function. This function reads data from the touch controller. First we check if the screen is being touched. If yes, we read raw touch value. Then convert or map them into screen coordinate. Because raw value are not in pixel format, then we set the state as pressed. If no touch is detected, we set the state as released. This function basically connect your finger input to LVGL system. Okay. Now let us go to the display flush function. This function is responsible for sending the graphics data from LVGL to the actual TFT display. LVGL does not directly draw on the screen. Instead, it draws everything in a buffer in memory. Then this function takes that buffer and pushes it to the LCD display. Here we calculate width and height of the area to update. Then we start communication with the display, set the address window and finally push pixel data. At the end, we call LV_display_flush_ready function to tell LVGL that drawing is complete. Without this function, nothing will appear on the screen. Now let us understand the most important part of the code, the setup function. This is where we initialize everything, display, touch and LVGL. First we start serial communication using serial.begin 115200. This helps us print debug message in the serial monitor, which is very useful while testing and troubleshooting. Next we initialize the TFT display. TFT.begin start the display, and TFT.set rotation, it set the screen orientation. TFT.fill screen, it clear the screen with black color. Okay, this ensures our display is ready before LVGL start drawing. Now we initialize the touch screen. First we start SPI communication using the defined pin. Then touch screen.begin function initialize the touch controller, and touch screen.set orientation match the touch orientation with display. This step is very important. If rotation is wrong, touch will not match the screen. Next, we initialize LVGL using LV_init function. This starts the LVGL engine, which will handle all UI, rendering and instructions. Now we create a display inside LVGL. We pass the screen width and height. This tells LVGL the size of our screen. Next we connect our buffer to LVGL. This buffer is where LVGL draw graphics before sending them to the display. We use partial rendering mode to save memory, which is very useful for ESP32. Now we link our display function. LV_display_set_flash_CV function connect LVGL to our myDisplayFlash function. This function is responsible for actual sending pixel to the display. Next we create an input device in LVGL. We set the type as pointer, which means touch input. Then we connect it our myTouchRead function. This allows LVGL to receive touch data from the screen. Finally, we call createButton function. This function builds our UI, a button in the center and a counter label. So after setup runs, the UI is ready on the screen. Now let us understand the loop function. This is heart of the program where LVGL keep running continuously. First we create a variable called last tick to store the previous time. Then we calculate how much time has passed using millis function. This value is sent to LVGL using LV_tick_inc function. Why this is important? Because LVGL needs time information to handle animation, transition and internal tasks. Next we call LV_timer_handler function. This is most important function in the loop. It tells LVGL to update the UI, handle touch input, process events like button clicks. If you remove this line, your UI will freeze and nothing will work. Finally, we add a small delay of 5 milliseconds. This helps reduce CPU usage and keep the system stable. Without this delay, the loop may run too fast and cause unnecessary load. Okay. So this is our code. Now go to tool, select the COM port correspond to the ESP32 board. Now go to again the tool, click on board, then ESP32 and select do it ESP32 dev kit v1. Okay, now click on upload. Now code is uploading. Okay friends, now you can see the code has been uploaded successfully, and you can see if I touch the button, then counter is increasing. Okay, great, it is working perfect. Touch is very smooth. That's it friends. If you really like this video, so please do like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching and see you in next one.